Then my mother married my stepfather, him being a heroin addict. And that's ended up in a homeless shelter. That's the first 10 years of my life. And going through that made me who I am. And that's the person you see today. I grew up in the 70s, but I was raised to be strong.
Very strong and powerful young lady, and
Grew up in a community where there was a heroin addiction. And then that was the 70s, 80s, I saw the crack addiction. The late 80s, 90s, I saw the black on black crime. Well, I began to see those things, and they began to concern me even as a child. And I decided even at a very young age that I wasn't sure how, what, but I was going to take a stand.
I think she's going to be a woman that represents the people. She's going to understand the district that she works in, all of the people in her district. Tammy understands that you don't have to be a protester from the office, and you have to be reactionary. She's prepared to be proactive. She's prepared to help us understand what's going on when it comes to bond packages, when it comes to zoning, those things that sometimes we don't know about. She's not just going to highlight the blight inside the community, but the beauty as well, and then show us how to use the beauty to get rid of the blight. She's going to be an active one. She's going to make the necessary sacrifice. She got to bite her tongue in order to use the decorum in order to communicate. She's going to do that. But when it's time to bite, she's going to bite too. She's not going to mince her word.
I had such a bad speech impediment that I didn't speak till I was 8 years of age. I was a very sickly child, so I didn't go to kindergarten, and the teacher asked me to pick up a pencil, and I picked it up like this. I didn't know how to hold a pencil. And so there were two teachers that told my mother that I was mildly retarded. And an old teacher walked by and heard them say that. They were about to put me in special ed. And she said, "Let me take her." And that woman took me, and she said, "Go to the chalkboard." And she took my hand and she showed me how to hold a piece of chalk. And she had me just write straight lines all day long. Straight lines all day long. And sometimes I would be tired and she got a pad on. She popped. She said, "No, you keep writing." And then she took my hand and she showed me how to write a T. And I would just write a T. And so I stuttered really badly. And she told me, she says, "Tammy, you think faster than your mouth moves." She said, "Think slow." I couldn't say my name. Say Tammy. Say it slow. I was very thin, frail, and had a lot of sicknesses. So I had a stocking cap on my head. So because I had a blood disorder as a child, so my head had to be shaved. So can you imagine? I'm 6 years old, very thin, frail child with a stocking cap on my head. So I was teased. So I had to deal with that as well. But she didn't allow that. But by the end of the year, I was her top student. She gave me sunlight. Being able to create jobs, that makes me emotional. To be able to give a man a living wage to take care of his family. It's extremely important to exercise your right to vote. And particularly, especially for African Americans who fought so hard to have that right. I want you to understand your history. If you understand history, people fought, died, were beat for you to have the right to cast that ballot.